Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Final Stallions!
Repeat what you just said.
So, in order to make sure this episode gets its full dues, I had to listen to some albums that maybe slipped through the cracks over the past few days. Albums that happen to have been released in the year 2023, because that's what we're talking about today.
And it's sad on my end. You know, I consider myself a lover of music and I don't know, hip with it. And going back, Klep, and reviewing what are my top 5 albums of 2023 and then my top 5 concerts of 2023, it made me realize I didn't do my work on this end right here. I wish, like, I didn't dive into a bunch of new music this year, and I realized it in a horrible way. Going through all the albums, I'm just like, what the fuck did I do? I might have given shit one listen, but there were a couple that stood out though, and a couple that I did run back.
Well, and also give yourself a little bit of credit. Like, you are still listening to new music in the sense that it's like new to you. Maybe it wasn't like necessarily released in the year 2023, but it's not like you were just like listening to the same stuff the whole year.
No, it's true, but like there was a handful of albums that I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this on my list, and I was like, that came out last year. And I like did this, and I was like, that came out last year as well.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, dude, it really does. And but no, I was able to narrow it down though, found some good ones. And yeah, man, Stallions and ending another year in review. Unbelievable.
So, okay, before we dive in, was it harder for you to work through the concerts or the albums? Like, which list was harder for you to create?
It was harder for me to create the albums.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, the concerts, it's funny because, again, this is our second year, full year on our belt. We're about to start year 3 in the beginning of February 2024 of Vinyl Stallions. And so I kind of knew when I was going to concerts this year that we're going to be doing this episode right here. So you kind of had it in the back of your mind, and it made it a little bit easier to the ones that stood out. But I wish we should have, we should have kept a tally of how many concerts we went to. And I'm not talking about big shows, but like tavern shows, like small shows, like pop-up shows. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, how many days did we spend listening to live music?
I can at least get a ballpark idea because, yeah, Setlist FM. Yeah, like if you have an account with them, like under each set list, there's an option to just like choose I attended, and then it will log it for you. So I'm actually about to go in and see how many I went to. And the thing with Setlist FM too is you can add to it. So like if somebody doesn't already create it, like for example, the Chalk Dinosaur Abstract Sounds show that we went to in April, like I just added it. Like I didn't know the set list, so the show is just there with no set list, but at least has like the date, the venue, artists. Um, so my number, there will be a few that I probably forgot to log, but I'll at least have like a decent number.
Now that's cool to be able to utilize it like that. And it's I don't know, crazy how you can just like seek out live music. Remember when we did Vinyl Roulette 5.0 in my house, and we were just walking by Terrestrial Brewing Company here in Cleveland, Ohio, and there's just some dude strumming, and we sat outside for like 10 minutes and just listened.
Yeah, true.
That's a concert. Add to the list.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so the albums were definitely tougher for me, but I don't know. I'm ready to break these down. Did you find a number, a ballpark?
Yep. 27. So we'll just round up, say I missed about 3, we'll say 30-ish.
I don't believe. Oh, I don't believe that.
Dude, that's I mean,
Bump
that's
those, Club. You've been to more than that, man.
I think that's about right, especially because, dude, the end of the year is always slower. Like, it's crazy busy towards like the
You
end of
just went to
spring and
one on
summer.
like Sunday or something, and then you went to Metallica 2 nights. Like,
Yeah, but that was all I went to in November and December.
wow.
And I guess Metallica technically counts as 2 shows, so 3 over those last 2 months. October was just those 2 Fish shows. September was just Goose. So it like the second half of the year was basically just like 1 or 2 a month. But like the beginning of the year was crazy. Like June had like Fish, Dave for multiple days, Santana, Chicago. Like June was popping.
Don't forget about the Ice Cream Militia shows you went to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What? Yeah, that would have been 2023. Well, yeah, I guess soiree, like like the first soiree, and then I saw them sometime in the winter. I actually haven't seen them since. I've seen like Tanner's other band, The Currents, and then also Tanner. Um,
Love it.
I will probably be
Well,
seeing ICM though, actually the day before New Year's Eve on the 30th.
very good. Well, let's dive in then to the hardest part of our decisions. Our top 5 albums of 2023. We'll be going backwards. Klep, lead us in with number 5.
All right. So number 5, and yeah, very interesting album. Super, super popular dude at the moment. The album is Higher by Chris Stapleton. And this album came out like I want to say a month ago. Um yeah, Chris Stapleton, very much a dude that is firing on all cylinders right now. He's about to be on 2 tours at once. So George Strait is going on tour this summer doing football stadiums, and he is the second to last guy to play on those shows. So he's playing right before George. And then sprinkled in with that, he has his own tour, Chris Stapleton's All American Road Show, which he's bringing Marcus King along with him for a lot of those. Cheryl Crow's also playing with him on some of those dates. So it's going to be a pretty good year to see Chris Stapleton in 2024. And this album kind of preludes that. Get a whole new batch of songs, 12 of them. There's some really, really good tunes on this album. And yeah, I think that's a good way to kick off our top albums of 2023.
Love it.
I guess to add to that too. So if I had give you a few songs from this album that's like, all right, you got to listen to these. I'm gonna say "Thing I'm in Love with You," "Loving You," "On My Mind," and "Crosswind." That's your take home from Higher.
All
All
right,
right,
coming in
Spruce.
at number 5 is going to have to be Those Boys, Plain White Album.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
But here
And
we are.
does the disc come in white or black? The
But,
vinyl?
but here we are by the Foo Fighters.
Yep. That's what I was thinking of.
And this is just, again, an unbelievable just comeback album in a sense of Taylor Hawkins passing. And no one honestly thought, at least no one, including myself and me and I, thought that they would put out an album this quickly after. And
Yeah.
it absolutely slapped, just kicking off with like Rescue. The Glass is an incredible song. And then Rest to end the album. This was one I definitely had on repeat when it came out earlier this year. And I heard they're just. I mean, again, to be able to keep up like that, I've heard they've just been killing it live as well. And a band I still need to fucking see.
Oh, so good.
Foo Fighters, number five.
Yeah, that one is on my like special mentions, like barely missed. Great album. All right. Number four for me, and fun fact, the a great way the honestly how I end up figuring these out, I just walked over to my vinyl collection. I'm like, which ones did I like enough to buy on vinyl? So these next four, I got the vinyl.
That's a good way
And
to
I
put it.
know you know this one, Spruce. We got Mr. Dave Matthews Band, Walk Around the Moon.
And it's red and
And
it's blue.
oh yeah. And part of me wanted to put this a little bit higher. I mean the other choices are excellent. I guess maybe drops this down a little bit more. Um I don't know that this band is firing on all cylinders quite like the albums that are ahead of it. They still are firing on all cylinders. I need to be careful with how I word this, but where this album falls in compared to other DMB albums, I'm not sure is quite as high as where like maybe these next three albums would fall into those respective artists' discography. I think DMB's still trying to figure out how to work Buddy into the band, but this album still has amazing songwriting by Dave. Like the songs are still so good, and so it's impossible to leave it out of the top five. Just can't do it. Um, if I were to give my three to go listen to off this album, gotta be the title track, Madman's Eyes, and After Everything. Well, and Break Free and The Only Thing, and actually the whole album. All right,
And it's
Spruce, you're up.
red and it's blue. All right, number four for me is one that I'm pretty sure came out right around my birthday, March 24th. My birthday is March 25th. Good memory. It is Lana Del Rey's. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard?
Ooh.
And this was one clip. I honestly did not really send you much of it. And I was honestly, it was like right after, yeah, like right after my birthday. I just remember like running this whole damn thing. It's like 16 songs, and I don't know too much about Lana Del Rey. I only know like a handful of her songs before this, and I was like, all right, let's give it a run. And that's the beauty of it, man. Is just being able to like kind of dip into an artist, and then being able to say like, all right, I've never done a full album. Let's run it, and that is going to show you if you really like the artist or not. And dude, she's just an incredible songwriter, and like some of these uh titles as well are just so freaking long, which is like hilarious in my mind. Like again, the title of the album is "Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard?" Now I do. Number four.
Yeah, that's awesome. 16 songs, so I'm pulling it up. That had to be a long ass album. Yep, 77 minutes. Oh, interesting. So something just caught my eye. The producer for this album also produced an album that we talked about not too long ago, and that album is Folklore, Jack Antonoff.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that guy is got to be well compensated if he's producing Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey albums.
Yeah, I mean this thing was like nominated for album of the year, title track, and then A and W was the album's second single and nominated for song of the year. So this shit slaps. Run it back.
All right. Number three for me was an album that we did a review, and I am going to put it on screen right now. We got 72 Seasons by Metallica, The Boys. Yeah, I think part of what I guess really pushed this album up, I mean, it is really good. I just got to see a bunch of these songs live like a little over a month ago. They played at least half the album across the two shows, and those songs sounded so good live. Um, yeah, and honestly, this album and the album before it, Hardwired to Self Destruct, are two of my favorite Metallica albums. I kind of really like the sound that the band is kind of settling into. Um, so yeah, impossible for me to leave this album out of here.
And it was episode 84 of Vinyl Stallions where you can hear a review of 72 Seasons.
Yep.
And one that I've always looked back on, I don't know if I've even listened to it myself, but that was one of the most free for all episodes. Like we were just like, you were grabbing beers, like I like we
Yeah,
like
that's right.
I think we were just loose as hell and just like I don't even know.
Your laptop died in the middle of it, so we had two separate recordings.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember just being like off my ass and being like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Yeah, that was a fun one for sure.
The live recordings are always fun, man. You stay up late right when it drops at midnight Eastern time. All right, number 3 for your boy Spruce is actually going to be an EP
Ooh.
of Vinyl Stallions' very own Juniper Silhouettes.
Okay, that's a fair choice.
And
That,
it
that
is
was really good.
5 songs, was released in October. And actually, Juniper, our interview with all 3 of them, the members was episode 82. If you want to go back and listen to our conversation with those guys who are actually as well playing at the Soiree of the Stallions coming up here, Cleveland, Ohio, January 27th. But I ran this shit a lot. I was on the West Coast when this thing dropped, and I just vividly remember ripping this one over and over again, along with something else. But shout out to
Yeah,
Juniper. This shit's so good.
now I kind of feel like a dick because yeah, like I was totally thinking of this album and I was like, well, it's an EP, it's 6 songs, so does it really count? And I just realized one of these other albums that I have on here, it's only 7 songs, so I totally should have given more consideration to it.
It's all right.
But
I'm already looking at my lesbian like I think I left out a couple. Maybe I did listen to new music. All
yeah,
right.
that was a
Top
very good
2.
release though.
It was. It was. I'm excited to see those boys live.
Absolutely. All right. So number 2, right on cue, the album that has 7 songs. Be this boy right here, Tyler Childers, Rustin' in the Rain. And this album, like, seriously ignited a passion in me for this artist. Like, so I've been kind of listening to Tyler Childers as the year progressed. Like, I guess I changed jobs in 2023, and the job that I began the year at, country music played there all the time. And it kind of like, in a way, like kind of grew on me that. And my wife listens to a ton of country. So I've just kind of been around it a ton the last 2 to 3 years. And a lot of it I don't like, but Tyler Childers was one guy who would come on and be like, okay, I do dig that. And then this album came out. I listened to the whole thing and it's so good. Like it is short and sweet. Like it's only 7 songs, 30-ish minutes. Um, but it's just excellent. There's a Chris Christopherson cover on there. There's a cover Space and Time, which is a song by another country artist from Kentucky called S.G. Goodman. The 3 songs I would tell someone to listen to off this album are the title track, Rustin' in the Rain, Archer and Mules, and then the lead single, In Your Love. Um, yeah, and it's country music, but it's a little bit fuller than that. Like there's piano, there's like I don't even know what the instrument is called. Like it kind of sounds like bagpipes, but I know it's not. I don't know. It's a really good album though. Go listen to it. That boy's about to be playing arenas and giant outdoor amphitheaters in 2024. Going to be an interesting year for him because this is his first tour doing that. Um, yeah, another guy that is like very much firing on all cylinders right now.
All right. Speaking of firing on all sort of cylinders, and actually a 7-song album as well.
Okay.
Coming in at my number 2 is Petro Dragonic Apocalypse or Dawn of Eternal Night, an annihilation of planet Earth. and then it just ends, dude. It just ends. It says BE and then it's just gone. And the beans.
You got to go to Wikipedia to
Oh
see the
my
whole
god,
title.
King Gizzard and the fucking Lizard Wizard, ladies and gentlemen. This shit dropped back in the middle of summer. Dragon. And then right before that, it's just Gille monster. Gille.
Yeah, that's my favorite song off that album.
I ran this thing a lot, right when it came
Yeah.
out. But yeah, those boys are again put that out in June of 2023. Have already released a more recent album since then.
Yeah, and that album I already forget the name. It's
The
like
Silver Chord.
Chord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like half as good as Petro Dragon Apocalypse. Like that album was the King Giz of the year. Like last year, like they put out like 4 or 5, but like Omnium Gatherium was like the one. Like this year, I think they put out 3, but Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, that was like the King Giz album for the year for sure. And yeah, it just missed it for me. Like another one, like sort of like that Foo Fighters one, like Juniper, like it just barely missed, but not by much.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna have to talk right after this. But yeah, so King Giz, number 2.
Right on. And so this is interesting. We have no overlap so far, which is different than last year. I feel like last year we had like the same 5 albums just in different order. But this year there's no overlap. So, number 1 album for me has got to be the new Incognito album, Into You. Another just ripper, 16 tracks, hour and 20 minutes long. And I guess I kind of contradict myself a little bit here. That because I guess that band is like they are firing on all cylinders, but they're like not necessarily in their prime. I feel like they've kind of settled in to like this current arrangement that they have, like the same crew that made this album. The main core of it has been together for about 10 years, with some of the members even longer, like our boy Tony. um James Berkeley, another guy we interviewed, he's on the 15th track of this album. One of the best tracks on the album. But yeah, it's excellent. Like there's elements of smooth jazz, of course, acid jazz. You got elements of funk, a lot of R&B vibes on this too. It's just a fantastic album, well produced, well mixed. A few instrumental tracks that just will melt your face. It's an incredible album.
And I don't know how I missed that one on my list.
There's no wrong choices. I like none of the ones that you've picked are like worthy of questioning, and there's like 10 to 20 that you could pick as your number 1 that will get no argument.
Yes, and let that be reiterated, ladies and gentlemen. There will be no argument because the only crossover we're going to have today is Dave.
Hell yeah.
Walk Around the Moon, Dave Matthews Band, coming in at number 1. And if you know anything about Vinyl Stallions, it starts with Dave, ends with Dave, and in the middle there's some Dave.
And if you want to see us interview Dave, Check out our episode with Slag Genie, where we interview Dave from Slag Genie.
Or check out our other one with Dave Friedman, audio tech, formerly
Yes.
for the Dallas Cowboys. But
And Genesis.
minimal there. But yes, Dave Matthews Band. We were so amped for this. We knew this album was coming for so long, and this is right when I started walking around a lot this summer, and I just would rip this thing over and over again. And like, I don't know, man. There's so many just good songs on here that continually just pop up now that it's like settled in. It's been like a couple months since it's been out. Like I was literally like out to eat the other day, and I just couldn't get a part of a song out of my head, and it was and all the pretty girls dance around together because the circus comes to town. And then there's like a horn section after, and I just like kept saying it, and I was like, what fucking song is this? Like, what am I singing right now? And then I just had to think about where that song went, and it just was, all you wanted was tomorrow. But your yesterday is away. It's Dave.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and this album it's so good. Like I had it for, but I mean any of these I could shuffle around. Like it was pretty hard to like I guess decide, oh, I like this one a little bit more than the rest. Like the distance between like number 1 and like number 7 that's not even on this episode is like very small. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
guess yeah, Spruce. Any other ones that you like want to give like a special mention to?
I don't know. I no. I'm sticking
Okay.
with my five.
I got a few. I just got to shout out the new Main Skin album, Rush.
Yes, Rush. That almost made my list actually. So
That was a really good album. The new Paramore album, This Is Why, was really good. Yes, made a new album that was like, I want to say like close to 2 hours. That was really fucking
oh
good.
wait, I forgot to throw in. There is one. All right. So see, maybe I have listened to albums. Maybe I do have some other suggestions, recommendations that missed the list. But is one we received a lot on our social media today was Zach Bryan by Zach Bryan.
Yeah, the self-titled album.
Dude, I don't know anything about that. Vinny Marinucci, that's his government name, is
The
it
Chens.
just rolls right off the tongue. If you start it, you got to say the whole damn thing. He was like, you got to listen to this shit. And he's not too into country. And I just didn't do it. I'm an idiot. I fucked up. Got to go do it.
I've heard a handful of the songs off that album on the radio. I mean, my argument would be if you are into country, listen to that Stapleton and Childers album first. The Zach Bryan album is good, but those other two are better.
Bang, bang on the choo choo train. So now we head over to the other side of this episode where we talk about our top 5 concerts that we've been to this year. And again, this was one where you can prep beforehand now because again we did this last year, so he had some knowledge. We'll be doing this episode, and we went to a couple club together. We went to a bunch without as well. But where do we start at number 5 for you?
Yeah. So, yeah, now that you say that, so out of the 5 of these, 3 of them I attended with you.
Love it.
So yeah, number 5. This one was a crazy show, and this is when we met Mr. Joe Lawler for the first time in person. Dave Matthews Band. I want to say the date was June 27th at Pine Knob Music Theater in Clarkston, Michigan. The band, it's probably like top 2 or 3 times I've seen DMB live. Like they were just so tight that whole show. Like I don't know if there was like a single mistake in the set. We got a monster 20-minute C cup. Got
What
a
you
little
are.
Fool in the Rain cover, What You Are. After we thought we were gonna get What You Are, and it turned out to be Madman's Eyes. We got a little fake out, and then they gave it to us later on in the set. Yeah, that was a incredible show.
It was, and man, yeah, there's gonna be a bunch I'm gonna have to leave off here, but to sneak in at number 5, I have to do this because it was one of the greatest concerts I've ever been a part of. Spruce with the Furs at the Happy Dog, March 20. I don't even know what it was.
I think it was February, wasn't it?
No, it was March 24th because the soiree was February 24th, and when I would tell people the date,
That's
they would be
right.
like, they would get them mixed up. So I just like held off on the show. But for those wondering, I'm Spruce, and he's Klepp, and he plays drums, and I play guitar, and we had two other buddies, Josh and Connor Emser as well, and
Who
we
both have Vinyl Stallions episodes.
absolutely, yeah, we keep shit in house here, but. Yeah, I played at a local bar here in Cleveland called the Happy Dog for like over an hour, and it was packed. There was like over 120 people in there, and like I don't know. That was like the first live show I've played in a while, and just being able to vibe out in a live show setting. And then right after the boys, Buzz Baldwin, who uh, have also been on our show,
Yeah, another Vinyl Stallions guest.
played right after us, and so fucking incredible concert, just a great night. And that's the night where we met Slag Genie, another Vinyl
Yeah, that's
Stallions
true.
guest. So, yeah, what a day, 24th, and that was the day that Lana Del Rey released her album. All right.
Hell yeah. Dang, yeah. I wasn't even thinking in along the lines of shows I performed in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had to sneak it in. Agreed, little pig.
that yeah, that was one of three shows that I played in 2023, and they were all no two were like even remotely similar as far as like venue, people that I was playing with, like the different casts every time. All right. So for number 4, I am going to go with Fish, Star Lake, specifically the Friday show, which I can't remember the date of. That Dave date I have just like grilled into my brain. I'm fairly confident it's June 27th. That Fish date, yeah, I don't remember the exact date. Sometime in July.
I know that
Star
date.
Lake,
It
yes.
was July 14th and 15th, and
Yep.
I remember that because yeah, that's when I just wasn't even planning on going. Then that Friday morning, I just bought tickets. It was like I'm sleeping on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a heck of a show. The set was amazing. They were just like very on that concert. Like the Saturday show was good. They were just a little bit hotter on the Friday show. The set was a little bit better, like Stash, which is probably one of my like top 5 Fish songs. I got that in the first set. Maze, which is like another amazing Fish song. I had gotten one other time, but they played a slowed down version. I got the normal fast version at this show. Got David Bowie and Fuego in the second set. Again, like two Fish songs that I just love that I hadn't seen live before. Character Zero in the encore. It just you couldn't ask for a better show or a better like
Damn, yeah, that was my first Fish show ever. That was like out of body. And
yeah.
but I'm gonna sneak in here at number 4. I There's no way I could leave this man and his crew off my list. That's Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band at Little Caesars Arena up there in Detroit. And going with you, Club, our buddy Bogart and my dad who introduced me to Bruce, and like that was just an efficient time getting there, getting in to our seats. Like, what a fucking time to, I don't know, party it up. That Kitty's Back, where they just played it for like 10 minutes plus, was out of body. And yeah, it was my first time seeing that band since like 2015. So, and for those who don't know, that is maybe my favorite.
Yeah, that show was nuts. Um
And I'll be seeing them
so
again next year.
yeah, that's
That
true.
delayed show that's been delayed twice now, but Yeah, I'm supposed to see them twice in a month. Now it's gonna be over a year since the next time.
That's kind of a blessing in disguise in a way, because I bet enough time will have passed. You will get like a very different set list, I imagine.
Yeah, and again, yeah, they can do no wrong.
Yeah, they play Mary Had a Little Lamb for 3 hours and it sound good.
I'd rather hear Mary's Place.
Yeah.
All right, well, top three club.
All right. Yeah, and there, man, there's some tough ones to leave off. But number three, I'm gonna go with Muse at Nationwide Arena in Columbus. I rolled up to the show solo, and Muse is like a band that I've always like really liked. Never like really entered like the realm of like my top favorite artists, but I've always enjoyed their music. Like they put out a new album, I'll listen to it, and they absolutely blew my mind live. And now I'm just like, if they're ever in Detroit, Cleveland, Columbus, like gotta go see them. It was so good. Like the stage set was immaculate, shooting fire. And I also never realized that they were only a three piece. Bassist was rocking like a double neck bass for a good chunk of the set. Matthew Bellamy is just like an incredible performer. The drummer was left-handed, which I also didn't know, and they're just tight. Like they just sound really good. Even with three people, they are able to produce like a very full and rich sound. They're just they played an amazing set too.
Love it. Yeah, that's a band I would love to be able to see live. Again, you pointed out at the theatrics and everything that comes with it is probably like out of this world. I need would love to see that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the only thing that I can think of that comes close as far as like a stage set would be like the 1975 or Taylor Swift, like at least shows that I've been to.
So this is gonna get tough, man. Like I have to leave off one of the ones that you've already mentioned. Fish or
Ooh.
Dave, man. I don't know. Like here I am once again. I'm torn into pieces.
Well, you got three left. What do you
No,
mean?
no, 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 no. There's two that really stand out that I can't let
Oh.
any of those break through. But I am gonna have to go against everything I know and leave the Dave Matthews Show off of it. Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. The show was already a win for meeting our boy Joe Lawlor, who is an ex
Yeah.
Stallion, got us some incredible backstage passes and like just being able to like hang out with him before the show. Like I was already like, this is the greatest night of my life.
Sipping
And
literally on Dave wine.
yeah, Dreaming Tree wine. Like it was an incredible night experience all around. So the show, I'm gonna say it didn't make my top five because Fish, again, it was my first time seeing them. And everything that comes with Fish, the lights, and again, you'll hear
Yeah.
it from all the people losing their loaf. But I'm telling you, as a sober man right now here in Cleveland, Ohio, that shit is bonkers, sober as a fucking geese, and I've never seen them do things sync up so well put. For them to come out as well, if you remember the encore, they did like a cappella singing like
Mhm.
it brought all different aspects of like what Fish is. And again, I dipped in. They're a bunch of freaks to me. Club tried to convince me. I liked a couple songs, and it's just. And then after seeing them live, I was like, oh, this all makes sense now. And I've seen them twice since then. And but yeah, that first show, that first night, maze.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's what I mean. Like I've been to more Fish and Dave shows than like Muse. That was my first time seeing them. But I think that's probably part of why they like finished ahead is like the shock value of like, oh, like I've never seen this band before and like the newness of it almost like makes it better in a way because it's like it's a new experience. Like Fish, Dave, like yeah, I'll probably see both those bands 10 more times, but like I know what I'm getting into there. You know what I mean? Like I know like I'm gonna see some really cool jams. I like know all the songs they're gonna play. So sometimes it's nice to get something that's like new, even if it's not new overall, that's like new to you, which leads me into number two, which is one that you mentioned earlier, and that was Bruce at Little Caesars Arena.
Ooh.
And my math was actually wrong. Four of these shows we went to together, not three. Yeah, that was just mind blowing. Dude's in his 70s, plays for 3 hours, like has like 30 people up on stage with him. Amazing songs, like they still sound good. That was just a mind blowing show. I had no idea what to expect. And anytime you're seeing someone who's been doing it that long and is that up there in age, you always wonder if like they've lost the step. And I'm sure seeing Bruce in 2023 is much different than seeing Bruce in 1980, but it's still really damn good. And like I said, just never having seen him before, like the utter shock of like how many layers there were to the sound, like how full it was. And the other thing that was really cool, it was the exact opposite of Muse. There was no stage set whatsoever. So in this arena, they're selling the seats behind the stage. Like shows that have like a more immaculate stage set, they don't sell any of the seats behind the stage because what's the point? Nobody can see anything. But that's not the case at a Bruce show. And so it's almost a little bit more of a less is more approach, but that was like really cool to see in itself. It's like, yeah, we don't need any of that. Like, we're just gonna blow your mind with our fucking
With
tunes.
some killer tunes.
They think he's so cool.
Dude, we were having a party up in our section as well. Like I just remember just dancing around, and the woman next to us
I was
was
gonna
just,
say, I remember that girl that just was talking Bogart's ear off the
yeah,
whole time.
yeah. People were just like, "How do you know these songs?" We're just like, "Hey."
And
Yeah,
we're like,
Bruce.
how don't you know these songs?
All right, so number two. For a long time, I thought this would be the number one of the year, but it has slid down,
Oh no.
not by much. Santana over in the Northfield here in Ohio, Northfield, Ohio. Oh my God, what a fucking show this was, where we weren't even looking at going until a former Stallions guest, Benny Rietveld, hooked it up with some tickets. And again, huge shout out to Benny for hooking those up. Like, unbelievable gesture on his part. And yeah, we're forever grateful for him coming on and being able to provide that. But that was just the beginning, getting in the door, accompanied by Klepp and also our boy Tanner Wirtz, who we've mentioned already on this episode,
Mhm.
and Northfield Casino. So we're in a casino. I had no idea what to expect. We entered. There's seats set up. We don't know where the fuck we're sitting. We just keep going forward and forward and forward. And we're like, I don't know, five.
Benny!
Yeah. We're like fucking, I don't know, probably like 10 rows back over on like the right side or something. And just like being able to clearly see everything. And I mean, again, a band you know about, ladies and gentlemen, Santana. You may think it's one person, it's not. It's a collective group of people, and they've been doing it for a long time. But the energy that they brought out on this night was out of this world. And I have seen them in 2019, didn't stick like this.
Yep. And I guess we'll just seg because I'm wearing the shirt from the show. And that was yeah, that was my number one show of 2023. Just like Spruce, I had seen them before, but this show was just different. Like the sound was ridiculous good. And yeah, they came out firing with like a 10-minute version of Soul Sacrifice, like right out the gates. Um, it was just a really good set. Benny was like bonkers good on the bass. Cindy blew our freaking minds on the kit. And obviously Carlos was just tearing it up. Yeah, it was just an incredible show. That Roadhouse Blues in the encore. I may have lost my mind during that.
Dude, I couldn't believe there were so many times where we would just turn to each other and be like,
Like,
is this actually happening right now?
yeah.
Um,
I ain't got nobody.
yeah, dude, and we got so much. I love Santana 3, like we both do,
Yeah, we
and
got half the album.
half the album. And when we were walking in, Club got a little peek at the set list from the sound guy.
That's true. I saw the set list on the sound guy's board and I didn't spoil it, but I was just like, we're gonna get a lot of songs we like. I will tell you that much.
And I will tell everyone listening right now that you can go listen to Benny Rietveld's episode number 91. And you can also hear our review on this specific concert, episode 104.
Yep.
We're just covering all of ours.
Yeah, and I feel like everything like episode 80 on is getting like talked about a little bit in this episode.
It's that new vinyl stallions.
Uh-huh.
So,
All right, Spruce.
my number one concert of 2023 just so happens to be my first and only so far solo concert
Ooh, I
that
think
took
I know where you're
place
going.
on the West Coast over in Irvine, California, where I saw Zac Brown Band. And opening for Zac Brown Band was also Marcus King. And so let me just break this down for y'all real quick. I'm going out west for a work trip. We're scouting out what's in the area. My buddy just moved to Newport Beach, so I'm going to hang with him. I'm like, oh shit, like 5 Point Amphitheater is about 20 minutes from here. Zac Brown Band's playing on Friday night. I was so fucking into country about a decade ago, and Zac Brown was about the top of my list, and I've seen them 3 times over my years before this concert. But again, just always associated with like getting drunk at concerts, country music. It was a thing of the past. And I was like, all right, well, fuck, Zac Brown. That's the only recognizable name I know when my time here in California. So I sent it and just bought a solo pit ticket like 2 days before for like under $100. And
Steal.
yeah, I'm literally walking. This venue was so cool. You walk in and then there's like a big grass area where like it's like a picnic, and then you continue into the venue. And it was like, I thought I was like late, showed up, walked right down, was row 4 in the pit. And as Marcus King was like just setting up and starting, so saw that whole set. Zac Brown Band came out afterwards. And again, I didn't really know music the way I do now, and to be able to see up close and how much that this band that is not just a fucking country band, just an all around rock, reggae, funk, like anything under the sun band, it was incredible. Out of body experiences, like during colder weather, like Zac was like tearing up, and like I don't know, there's something in the air where like everyone was just like, holy shit.
Mhm.
And I don't know, man. There was something about that just night. I was on such a fucking high. They did an encore where each member chose a song, and 20 minutes they like each sang X amount of that song, and you can find it on Vinyl Stallions YouTube actually right now. And so there's that aspect of it. But then I go back and I tell my buddy Pete, who I'm staying with, like, hey, dude, this venue's sick, like unbelievable concert. I like go to look it up. So I Google 5 Point Amphitheater. They announced that. So Zac Brown actually had a 2-night run there. I saw the Friday. They announced the Saturday morning that Saturday show was going to be the last concert there at 5 Point Amphitheater, and they are tearing down the venue. And this fucking thing was built in 2017, and it was beautiful. It was in the middle of nowhere. The parking and driving were like so easy to get to, and apparently they can't come to a deal with Orange County. Oh, but
Those greedy little pigs.
but I don't give a shit because I don't live there. So I got to go to one of the last concerts at 5 Point Amphitheater, out of body experience. Sorry, Pete, you'll never see it. I was the last one.
Zach and the boys. Yeah, oh man. So they like just missed the cut for I saw him twice, once in New Hampshire, once in Columbus. Another amazing one was Chicago at the Toledo Zoo. John Mayer at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh was also up there. The 1975 in Columbus. Metallica. Oh, it was so hard to leave them off.
One that I literally wrote down and like I just missed was Abstract Sounds
Yeah.
in that like yoga studio.
Yep.
Like that was one of the
mind blowing.
like,
And
there was-
Chalk right before it was nasty too.
yeah, that whole night was nuts. Trying to think what else was like. I mean, Slag Genie was honestly fucking sick at Coda. That was definitely a concert that stood out for me.
I'm still itching to see those boys.
I know a place where you can see them. Soiree the Stanley in Beachland Ballroom, January 27th. Go get your tickets
Be
now.
there or be square.
Do it. But what a year it's been, 2023. There's been highs and there's been even higher highs. There's been no lows here on Vinyl Stallions as we continue up the path to wherever the fuck we go.
And join us on the ride.
Join us on
We
the ride.
hope you'll have
indeed.
fun.
Yeah,
we
we're
think
only,
you will.
yeah, man. We appreciate everyone that's listened. If you have any suggestions of anything you want to hear us talk about in coming years, please. We're not limited to anything. Hell, come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We welcome it with some open arms. But again, big moves for Vinyl Stallions in the year 2024. Gonna a hell of a lot more legitimized in the government's eyes.
Mhm.
LLC that bitch.
And we're going to kick it off with the second annual Soiree of the Stallions, January 27th. So there'll be a lot of content that kind of revolves around that. And then who knows what else we'll settle into in 2024.
There's
Anything
been-
goes.
There's been talk of some newsletters. Maybe we'll keep you all updated in a different
Mhm.
way. So yeah, stay posted, stay locked. And that's all. Happy 2023. My name is Bruce.
I'm Klep.
This has been another great year of Vinyl Stallions.